Órale. Bienvenidos and welcome to the Familia FFB podcast. This is your host, Jorge Martin. Familia, yes. I am actually now. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Forgot to turn on my light. Then God made light. There we go. And now I'm bringing on our special guest, El Jefe himself.
That's right,
Jesse
baby.
Nunez.
That's right. I'm here for you, Jorge Martin.
Mi amigo, it's so good. It's so good to see you after you gave me that spanking last weekend.
It wasn't a spanking, Jorge. It was a chanclazo, my friend. It was a chanclazo.
It was a flying chancla.
Can we cuss on this show? Chancla. I forget. Can we cuss?
It's okay. Family, Mexican families, we cuss. So it's
okay. Good. So we're good. All right. I'm sorry, but I'm in the lovely confines of Culver City right now, heading to the beautiful Whittier, California, and so a little bit of movement here. Sir.
What do we know about Whittier?
Where the girls are prettier.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Hey, okay. So I got everybody. So yeah, some of you may remember Jesse. It's been a little more than a year that he's been on. One of my very good friends. We're both fellow Dodger alumni, and one of my favorite people. And he is current. I think like the Jeffersons moving on up. The reason why he's El Jefe is president of the Culver City Chamber of Commerce. Mi amigo, how's it going? How was your mixer tonight?
Mixer was great. They had dessert. It was fantastic. Jorge, I think one of the things that we should really be talking about is the other idea we've sort of bandied about, which is the professional eating league and how we should do fantasy for that.
Yes, I would love to do that. Yes. Let's do that.
Please, if you could do a full rack of ribs, that's 7 points. You know what I mean? Something like that. Half rack, you only get 3. Not the full 3.5 that you think you're going to get a split. No. You're going to get only 3 points for the half rack of ribs.
Okay. How many per taco?
It depends on the taco. If it's al pastor, you're only going to get 1. Carne asada, you're going to get 1. But if you do buche, hey, I'm going to roll you up to 3 points on that one.
Ooh, maybe some sesos.
If you do sesos, you're going for bonus points, baby. You're going to get 5 on that one. 5 points for sesos.
Oh my goodness. Yes. As I pat myself on the head for that one. So,
no pun intended. Very nice. First time I have sesos is in Ensenada, probably 8 years old. My Nino and my dad, we arrived in Ensenada kind of late. They said, "You guys hungry?" I said, "Yeah." They rolled back with taquitos, like a gang full of taquitos. And I'm like, man, this is amazing. I've never had these kind of taquitos before. Why is the meat white? Is this chicken? And my Nino goes, "Oh, mijo, all there was sesos." I go, okay. I have no idea what it is. Till I ask my mother, "Mom, what's sesos?" She goes, brain. How do you say brain? I say, "You say brain like brain." And I'm like, wow. But they were good.
I know that it was the same way. I just, my dad just said, "Yeah, tacos de cabeza." He just said, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And I mean, I didn't even think. I thought, maybe it was just a name. And then all of a sudden, it's like, "Oh, okay."
Well, that's the thing is that there is no part of the animal that we don't use. In Mexican cooking. It's very
efficiency.
True.
It's being about being efficient.
Yeah,
always
it is
about being efficient.
So anyway, yes, about the chancla that I gave you. There was some mocking when we did our draft, as you recall. That since I think I was in 7th or 8th position, and some folks mocked me for dropping all the way to 14. But actually, you kind of figured out my secret, which was really funny. But yeah, the Tua Tyreek and the Brock and Debo combo that I have is pretty stout.
Yeah, you might say that. You might say that. The thing was, since you love your rookie running backs, I was convinced you were going to take Bijan with one of those first two picks. I was convinced that you were going to do that. And when you passed, I almost passed out. So,
and then I ended up getting a rookie per se, in Davon. But what can I say? A Chane. Chane. I gave you, Jorge. By the way,
we give him the Latino name, Machane. So yes, totally.
Chane. Oh, I forgot. I call him Machane because he's probably Chicano, but nobody knows. Those Chicanos that live above the mission. They live north of the mission. All of those guys. I forget what the barrio is called, but all those guys that live north of the mission, they all know what I'm talking about.
All of the folks over at all of the Cubanos are claiming him though now. So down there in South Florida.
Oh yeah. Our Cuban friends, they're so funny. They're funny.
Yes, they're funny. So funny. So a quick shout out to one of the people in the chat, Alberto. Alberto, thank you for joining us. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. We're going to break down some games tonight. But first off, I want to know, Jesse, this is your first experience with Superflex, using Superflex. Want to know what, obviously you're kicking everybody's butt right now. And you figured out the draft better than everybody else. But it helps when we all let Tua drop down to the 14th pick, but early impressions, because it barely passed in our league.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you right now, I love Superflex. I was a kicker devotee. I'm going to admit that. I love my kickers, because really that's the only way we're keeping Latinos employed in the NFL. But actually, there's a lot of non-Latinos, in the kicker position now, which is disheartening, to be quite honest. A lot of these non-Latino kids have figured out how to get to college on a scholarship, and you know what? They're taking advantage, Jorge. They're taking our jobs.
They're taking our jobs. Yes. Instead we gotta get more guys professional leading, and then and getting big, becoming linemen like Steve Avila for the Rams, and
Jesus Christ, that's a big boy. That's a big boy. That dude is doing, I don't know, at Christmas that guy's doing at least 24, 26 tamales, man. And that guy's a professional leader. That is at an elite level. I'm not there yet. Part of it because I'm only 5'6.5". There's only so much intake that'll go vertically, but there's the other kid. I'm trying to remember what team he's on. Another lineman, another Latino guy. I'm like, man, these are kids that, they make Max, they make Montoya look like a little kid, man. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, they're all of a sudden, they make Anthony Munoz look like a normal guy, look like a normal looking guy.
Yeah. He look like, he's only 6 feet. What was that? Anthony and both those dudes were big boys, but these
Munoz was like 6'6", 6'3", or 310, but now it's like that's a guard.
Yeah, that these are massive people. I don't know what's in the milk. But Jesus Christ, it's like you could see the hormones, for sure, in the milk. Anyway.
Hey, everybody, make sure you're following Jesse on Twitter at Jesse Hyperactive. No E at the end. So
no E. You know why? Because I picked the longest name humanly possible on Twitter, and I ran out, and that was the maximum amount allowed. But I'm also on Instagram, where you could see lovely pictures of all my family, as well, and on Facebook. As they say in Mexico. En el Face. En el Face. Ahí estoy en el Face.
Estoy en el Face. Vamos al Face. Hállame en el Face. Ahí te mando un mensaje en el Face.
Yep. And if I got to tell you, one of the funniest things is, we're none of us are going to be on X very long, much longer, so long as Elon keeps destroying the platform,
it was quiet there for a while, but now all of a sudden, I'm sure maybe it's because of the holidays that he's making things a little bit he's gonna make things extra spicy. So
I honestly think sometimes, there is like somebody has too much money, and I don't know why he just doesn't make like San Marcos blankets out of the $100 bills and just burns them, and he can do something like that. I mean, do creative things.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be interesting, but I think the biggest thing that he's benefiting from, and perhaps doesn't see it, is the explosion of fantasy, sports, and how, that was, for the longest time, Twitter or X or whatever was the way to get the data and the information. So it's going to be interesting to see what, if he can sustain himself. But I could certainly see, DraftKings or FanDuel or, BetMGM or any one of those guys creating their own platform.
Probably. I mean, and there's threads out there, and that some people, I haven't signed up for that yet, and I think some people are doing some interesting things on TikTok and Instagram. So I think they might be moving over to that. So I mean, hey, you know what? Hopefully it doesn't. There's tons of millions of fantasy football followers on Twitter. So hopefully.
And I think that's part of the challenge, right? That again, I'm a marketing guy at heart, and I know that there are folks, like yourself, like a lot of people, put a lot of time and effort into, building those followings and building all those things, these platforms, and then to watch it all just, blow up because, they don't have our for some weird reason in the car. To watch that all blow up, is just, it's kind of shitty,
Yeah, it's a little bit. So I mean, hey, let's hope. But hey, let's talk some football. Let's talk about some of the games real quick. I put together. We could talk anywhere from 4 to 6 games, depending on how long we're going. How long we're going to go on your drive. But I want to start with the Sunday Night Football game. Philadelphia at Dallas.
Hey, hold on.
Dígame.
Give me a quick second. Okay, I want to get back onto my audio here. Hold on. I'm gonna mute for a second.
Okay.
And okay, can you hear me okay still?
I can hear you just fine.
All right. Hold
on. Yeah, we got Philly. Oops. We got Philly 10-2 at Dallas 9-3. I think this is, I mean, this week's game of the week, but I mean, we got 2 games that I think that really have a lot of incredible fantasy implications. The Eagles just they get their butts handed to them by the 49ers last week, and I didn't see it. I thought it was going to be a great game. I thought it was going to be lots of points scored. But okay, let's see. Looks like Jesse is
all right. I'm back. Sorry. That turned out to be a technical difficulty, but beyond our control.
We're back.
I'm back. No, but anyway, I was just saying that the people have invested a lot of time and energy into that, to building those things, and to try to go to another platform and rebuild. That's you're asking a lot of people.
We'll be that day. Well, I wanted to talk about Philadelphia Dallas. So I mean, this game's going to be awesome. It's going to be indoors. There's no weather's going to be perfect in there. I mean, all of a sudden, I mean, the over/under is 52 points. Dallas is favored by 3.5 points. So, I'm looking at this one. This game, after the way Seattle just threw the ball all over the Cowboys, which we hadn't seen all season, and the way Philadelphia has just been bleeding points in the passing game. I mean, can you see this being a big time passing game?
Well, I think if is it really 52? I think 52? This is a 65-point game, man. This is going to be 70 for sure. I really think that. I think you hit it right on the head, and I think that's why you're the Yahoo. That's why you got the Yahoo gig. But all kidding aside, these are horrible defenses. In the secondary, I'm like, it's interesting that I think the Dallas gets exposed because they haven't played. Look at the teams they played. I think every one of their wins was obviously against the losing, team with a losing record, and not the best quarterbacks, and God only knows that I have in my own fantasy, I've flourished because I have two quarterbacks that are still standing. Everybody else has gotten killed, right? In our own league, the injuries, to have DTR start a game, in his first year, I mean, wow. To have some of these, kids that are playing, who's the kid from the Division III school or whatever the hell, in Chicago,
Tommy DeVito. Oh, you mean Tyler Badgett
in New York, right? And the kid out of, the kid with the arm wrestling coach dad or whatever the hell, that I'm like, those are great stories because there's, it's just in preparation for some of the crappiest football we're going to watch,
I know they need that. It's almost like they need that. How the stories are a big time. In the Olympics, that that you need the stories because the football that is going to be tough. I mean, there's going to be some rough games this weekend, but this is going to be a great game. I really think it's going to be a passing fest. I think both the thing is both run defenses are very good. I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles got run on a little bit by McCaffrey, but McCaffrey's running on everybody.
McCaffrey's on a much different level, and it's quite fascinating to see that, right? That and I think that what you are looking at, I have Mr. Swift on my and he's going to sit on my bench because I respect that Dallas, that front seven is pretty stout, and I think that that's something that is going to be a challenge, for Philadelphia. And then it's going to be a challenge for Jalen, because, the elusiveness that he has, works well with a lot of teams. But I'm not sure if it's going to work that well with Dallas. I just see that it's going to be, I'm trying to remember Philadelphia's slot receiver, but that's going to, I think that guy's going to feast. Their tight end's going to feast.
Devonta Smith. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the tight end's hurt. The Eagles tight end is hurt.
Oh, did he? Oh,
so it's just it's just AJ Brown and Devonta Smith. So you got those two guys. Jake Ferguson on the other side is definitely a threat for the Cowboys.
Yep.
And,
well, that's your guy. That's your guy. He's the only guy that scored any points for you, Jake Ferguson. Let's not forget that.
Right off the bat. He scored right off the bat on Thursday, and then everything was just quiet. Yeah.
I believe the phrase "it went downhill from there" is how you should describe that episode for you.
Oh, it was fue un desmadre, mi amigo.
All roads lead back to Jorge's miserable experience this past weekend.
Oh man, I know. I gotta make sure I'm able to sneak into the playoffs. I mean, you're assured to get in, but you got that number 1 seed locked up. But
I think
we're in that 6-7 spot.
No, I mean, everything can change right away, and I think again, it's just luck has a lot to do with it, which I think is going to be interesting for Dallas. And I don't know where you're at, but in terms of seeing how Dak's going to perform, in this game, is going to be telling. Man, they've got some. The 3 out of the next 5 games for Dallas it's going to be against quality opponents, and it's going to really make, and not make or break, but it's going to really give everybody a sign of what kind of team do they really have. I know all the Cowboy fans that are in my family, just can't stop glowing, especially when you're a Chargers fan, and that's okay. It's ups and downs, but I know who the Chargers are. I know that we have no defense. And, that's okay. We know that. And we have, a kamikaze pilot for a coach, got it. Okay. But, with Dallas, there's almost this hubris that's developed that they think that I'm like, you guys have not been any quality opponents, and look at how, you barely, I say you barely beat Seattle, the way I look at it.
Beat Seattle deserved to win that game.
Yes. Yeah. And so to me, it's like, sure. Okay. There's that Public Enemy song. Don't believe the hype. That is how I see, that's my statement to any of the Dallas guys. So anyway.
I will say, I think they're going to score. I think they are going to score some points. I mean, you said it yourself, 65, 70 points. Now, Dallas 3.5 is that hook has me very interested. It makes me want to bet on Philly. Take Philly.
I would, if it's 3.5. I would take Philly without a doubt.
That half point.
I don't care. You're playing at Jerry's house. I don't care.
No, I think that half a point. I need that. I want that half a point. Yeah, this game could be like 37-34, 38-35, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Without a doubt.
It's going to run.
It's going to hang on a missed field goal.
Kickers!
Kickers!
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump to another game.
All
Buffalo at Kansas City.
Man.
So the quarterbacks, I mean, it's like Josh Allen was playing really well before they went on the bye, even though they lost that incredible game to Philadelphia in overtime.
Yeah, my guy, Gabe Davis. You know, you got to look both ways when you cross the street, Gabe. And he was only looking one way. Híjole, mijo.
Mijo, Gabriel, cacha la pelota. Oh, he needed it. He catches that. It's totally different. They're 7-5, and they're probably staring at a playoff spot.
Listen, this is like when you had young kids and there's Legos all over the house. You know, it's just like, damn it, I should have walked the other way. Instead, sas. And you're screaming like you're like a drunk guy at a mariachi festival. You know, it's like.
I love it. So you got I mean, Josh, I mean, Kansas City, the Chiefs, they got thrown on last week, but this week it's back in Kansas City, and no word on if Taylor Swift's going to be there, but
right. I mean, we're all anxiously awaiting, the Taylor Swift appearance. I think it's funny because Buffalo is not the same team that started the season, right? You see it's a completely I don't know what kind of funk. I don't know what kind of cannabis Josh was taking or whatever but he looked like he kind of looked like Cody Bellinger out there, a little bit not 100% with us, and yet was able to sling some throws or whatever, but there was a lot of inconsistency, right? And so, that I think is that ship's been righted. McDermott probably had a mano a mano kind of conversation and said, hey, get your head out of your ass, and let's put this together. The weapons that they have are extraordinary, and for them, to be 6-6 at this point of the season, is all due to that early, that early season inconsistency. What's interesting to me, and you again, you're a much greater authority than I am on this, but is Kansas City? I mean, I love Isaiah Pacheco, and it seems like he is the only one that's fired up on that side of the ball.
He's the only one. I know he's the only. I mean, Kelsey has had his moments. I know he's been dealing with some injuries this year. It's not because of Taylor. It's because Kelsey's been dealing with some injuries. You got Kansas. I just think Mahomes is. He doesn't go crazy with the emotions unless it's a huge play. But yeah, I look at him, and I mean, Pacheco is definitely, he's the one who's got that dog in him. But the receivers, I think they just I don't know what's going on with the receivers. So I mean, Rashee Rice is the only one. But Buffalo, you were talking about Buffalo. I mean, they've been so beat up on the defensive end. And they're trying to get. I was just listening to a podcast with the Buffalo beat writer who was talking about the fact that they were trying to they're trying to kind of change him a little bit and make him, not leave the pocket so much and be more of a pocket passer and not take on the bad hits or something like that. So,
and I think that the amount of money that's invested into quarterbacks these days, certainly there's a lot of money. This is probably one of the most expensive quarterback games, we're going to be seeing this Sunday, right? Perhaps, although no, I mean, Dak and Jalen are also in that, in those penthouses. But, the amount of money that's invested, into that position, I really think that there is I don't want to call it like a coddling, but there's almost this like, there's this altering of the play to sort of keep them in a safe spot when, and that's all fine and well, and I understand it from a business perspective, but if that's not how the guy is playing, or that's not how he's used to playing, right, it doesn't make any sense to do that.
Right. Exactly.
You gave him all that money because he has a certain style of play, he has a certain way of doing it, and now you want to change it?
Yeah. Oh. Hey, we got compa. I got a question in the chat.
Sure.
Let's see. Oh, thank you, Jelly of the month. Lost AR, lost Burrow, but fortunately have a bye. Congratulations. Been playing Sam Howell, but week 16, 17 schedule is brutal. I like Jordan Love. Week 16, he's got Carolina. And it's at Carolina. Weather shouldn't be too crazy, so it's Carolina's been better against the pass than the run this year. But the way they're playing right now, hopefully what's going on with Christian Watson isn't serious, isn't long term, because then he might be back by that point. And they have the full complement. And against Minnesota, you're just the way to beat them is throwing. So I like Jordan Love. Hey, we got don't you think Jimmy Burns is
on that subject? On the subject of Jordan Love, don't you think that's his rise has come because of Watson stepping up, or is it one versus, or what is it, chicken and egg? What's your sense of that?
Well, I think Jordan Love Watson, his resurgence has been the last couple weeks. Jordan Love has been for the last month that he's been going. Yeah. So I think it's I think it's kind of like I think Jordan Love kind of pulled him up, because Romeo Doubs and Jaden Reed have both been playing very well for them, and Luke Musgrave was doing well, then he got hurt. Tucker Kraft is doing well, and he got hurt. So we got a good question from our amigo Jimmy Burns. He's asking for a friend. Is it worth starting Mitchell Trubisky over Josh Downs in the super flex this week?
Jimmy, let's be frank with Jimmy. Jimmy should be starting some kind of wide receiver in his super flex. Neither one of those individuals is going to generate any kind of points.
Josh Downs, Josh Downs is the wide receiver for the is.
Oh, I'm sorry. The font is so small. I thought it was Dobbs, because the font is so small on my phone.
So yeah, Josh Downs, the wide receiver.
Well, there you go. I said my answer, Jimmy. It's Downs. Go with Downs.
And the game is against Cincinnati. Cincinnati, you could throw on them. So yes, I like Downs.
There you go. I'm with the expert on that one.
And he said, pay attention to the road, Chewy.
By
the way, we have breaking news in the baseball world right now. Juan Soto just got traded to the Yankees. So if we didn't have enough reason to dislike the Yankees,
wow! So they've got Verdugo and Juan Soto. So they're loading up everybody.
Aaron Judge.
It is a left-handed batter. Where was the last man standing on that one? Dear God.
Oh my goodness! I wanted Soto to stay in the National League. And I didn't want him to go to the Yankees, but he's gonna do so well in New York. He is gonna do so well.
That stadium is built for those guys, for that kind of hitter.
Yeah, he's gonna hit 35. He's gonna hit 35, 40 home runs.
I'd say let's put it out there right now. That's a 42 run. That's a 42 home run season right there.
Yep, absolutely. In honor of Jackie and Mariano, so 42. So on this one, we definitely like Pacheco in this game. Wide receivers on both sides. Kansas City's been doing very well against the pass, but I think Stephon Diggs, hopefully he gets home on this one. For you, Gabe Davis. James Cook, kind of iffy, because the Chiefs are running pretty well. Kansas City is a 1.5 point favorite. Where are you leaning on this one with a 48.5 point over under?
It's if this game was earlier in the season, I think that 48 would have been really a stretch. I think that's a legit 48.5, probably even 50. I could see that 20, 28, 24 kind of game. I think it's gonna again come down to the field goal. But no, I see that as going. I would take the over on that without a doubt. And I do see that for whatever reason, and I know they took the loss in Green Bay, but I do see Kansas City. It's hard to root against them, man, because okay. You're gonna again. I'm deferring to you because you are employed by Yahoo, and that's an important thing to note because that's an amazing.
Yes.
You know, you don't give yourself enough credit, so I'm gonna be
Thank
on the
you.
Jorge Martin fan site here. That it's pretty amazing, brother. That that you've turned what is in essence a hobby into a gig, a real gig, and man, we're all jealous and we all wish we could do that. So my hat's off to you, and I'm saying it on your forum because you won't say it, but damn it, if there aren't a lot of people who are proud of you, man. So that on that front, but
thank you.
But I digress, as I usually do. I think that, to me, it seems like Kansas City is, it used to be like a machine, and it just seems like the machine is like, like when you have like the cog on a wheel, and it's missing one of the little gears, or that one of the gears is worn down just a little bit. So there's a little bit of like almost like a skip, it feels like that you're not assured, that level of efficiency that we become accustomed to,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know.
And I think that's what's going on. And a little bit with both of these teams, I could see that, but I don't know. I think there's something that's going to come out of both quarterbacks this week, and they're going to put on a show. I mean, Allen did it against the Eagles a couple weeks ago, so I think he's going to pull one out again because they need to. They almost have to win out to get in the playoffs.
No, there's if they lose today, the season's over, obviously. But there's there's a lot of teams that the season was over 6 weeks ago. So you should be fortunate, to be in this position at this point. But nevertheless, it's Quaintance if they don't win.
Man. So. Oh man, yeah. 6 weeks ago, the Carolina Panthers, but we won't talk about them today. So, hey, you know what? Let's talk about your Chargers. Denver coming off a tough loss to the Houston Texans. The Chargers coming off of an ugly win over the Patriots. Jimmy Burns, I know you're a big Patriots fan, so amigo, sorry for your loss, but no, you got 20 years of dominance. So a couple years of not so good. It's okay.
Go ahead and say. I'll say it. You don't like to say these things because you're employed by Yahoo. Shitty football. shitty football. That's what it's been.
But could this be? I mean, this game. Denver's good in the secondary. The Chargers. I'm there's a part of me that's saying, okay, I don't know if it's going to be a big game, but I think the Chargers got to lean into Eckler a little bit in this game.
I don't know why. Okay, again, now this is where I do my Tommy Heinsohn impression. The Chargers are amazing. No, the reality of it. And there's a bunch of people going up. Tommy Heinsohn, who was that? But the interesting thing about the Chargers is I do think we have a kamikaze pilot for a coach, and I think that for Justin to flourish, we need I really and I think Staley's a cool, level-headed guy, but in the press conference on the sidelines, I don't know what this man is thinking sometimes, right? And it's almost we are the greatest team at losing by the smallest amount of points. We've solidified that. Hopefully at the postseason awards ceremony they give us a trophy for that shit. But most losses with less than 7 points, that's us, right? But the long and short of it is that I think that it's a miracle that we're 5-7, to be quite honest. I mean, I'm not kidding.
They could be 10. They could be 10-2 or 2-10. So
yeah, I am. I'm just every time I put the game on and I'm like befuddled. I have no idea who's showing up. I don't know what team is showing up.
It's usually just Keenan Allen, and but Keenan Allen in this game is gonna get a lot of he's gonna get a lot of attention from Patrick Surtain.
If Surtain and whoever's helping Surtain they're not double. It's almost like when we watch Miami, and we're all talking about this in our chat, like, oh my God, you guys did not double team Tyreek? It's the same, so in this game, Peyton's not an idiot, and they are going to double team Keenan Allen and harass him and chip him and do all that shit, because what's the other, who's going to step up, right?
That's a question. Any hope for Quentin Johnston, or is he lost? Feels like the rookie rope is shorter than ever.
Quentin Johnston is our Roberto Duran. The man has hands of stone. I'm like, this guy.
No mas.
I'm like, yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't said no mas during the game. I'm like, buddy, your job is to catch the football. That's all. You're not asked to eat it. You're not asked to throw it. You're asked to catch the ball. And he's a professional. What is the problem?
I don't get that one.
No, but what I was going to suggest is that this is an he's very talented, and that's part of the frustration, right? Because it'd be one thing if this guy was Ed McCaffrey's younger brother who never made it to the NFL, or whatever, right? If he was slow as molasses and he didn't have, and he wasn't a good route runner and all that shit. But I mean, the fact that he gets open is a testament to his ability. But the fact that he doesn't have an 80 catch season has everything to do with, like, is he all thumbs? Is it like, I don't know. Okay.
I mean, coming into the draft, one of his questions was his hands, but I didn't think it was going to be anything like this. I mean,
we've answered that question. Got answered this season.
He's so incredibly talented, and I hope that he figures it out. I mean, if there's anybody who's he's got one of the greatest mentor possibilities around in Keenan Allen. So
right.
I mean, he's got to be able to pick something up from him, and hey, get the jugs machine or something like that. Just you got to figure it out. You got to figure it out, because you can't be dropping some of these passes, because I mean, there's been two touchdowns that could have been game changers that he dropped in the last two games, and it's just like, you can't have that happen.
The last two games I've said Jesus Christ. The last two games I've said Jesus Christ more than I have at church because of Quentin Johnson. I'm just telling you right now.
Oh my goodness.
And who was one of the announcers? So QJ with a just almost a sensational catch. I go, no, that's called not a catch, and not an almost sensational catch. That is like, no, that's called not a catch.
The drop.
And
drop.
It's called a drop. No, but anyway, I just think that it's when you bring up Eckler, it is about how do we figure out how to get him more involved, and I think it's passing. Because as a runner right now, I'm not so sure if that's the logical. We keep trying to swim upstream here, and I don't think that's a feasible solution. You gotta you got some big boys up front, let them run, and let them get in front of him, I'm not going to suggest that he's Deebo Samuel, but there's certainly his ability to, the yak that he could, can create for himself is extraordinary, and I just don't feel we're exploiting it.
I totally agree. Right. Totally agree. And I mean, maybe it's because he's such a threat. I mean, I know his ankle maybe is not all the way better, but
right.
hopefully he gets hopefully he gets more involved in the passing game, because I mean, kind of like last year where he kind of carried the team for a little bit when Keenan Allen and Mike Williams were both hurt at the same time. So
right.
Get him the ball in space. Let him work a little bit on the other side. I think it's I don't know if I trust Russell Wilson even against the bad secondary that the Chargers have going on. I mean, if there's any week, it's this week, but you're definitely starting Cortland Sutton and maybe even Jerry Jeudy in a pinch. I don't know if with the playoffs on the line, if I've got the bolas to start Marvin Mims. So we're doing that one. So on this one, Chargers are favored by 3, a 44-point over/under. Which way are you leaning?
I'm going to be a total homer and take the Chargers.
I
for
think
this
so.
reason
I agree.
is is that I think the Denver challenge, is one that they've got to prove. This is another team, they lose, they lose this weekend and it's over, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're hanging on by a thread, but if they lose this weekend, it's over. And I think that's got to motivate these guys, more than anything. And again, I think they have the dump it off to Eckler. I don't know, shovel pass it to him, do whatever you have.
Target him 10 times. Throw 10
Snap
targets
it
at him.
direct from center to him. I don't give a care how you get the ball to him. Get the ball to him outside of a running, again, in that running scenario that I think is not going anywhere. And get that ankle loose. And when you don't have to, focus on getting killed, by a 310, defensive tackle or whatever, you're out there and he's running against, some linebackers and that, he's the size of a linebacker. And so, those are guys of equal strength, and I think that would free him up a little bit,
Maybe he's more the size of a cornerback, but yeah.
Well, that's true, but that's me being Tommy Heinsohn. This guy's like 8 feet tall. He's like 8 feet tall.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna run through a couple quick ones, and then I want to break down the Rams and the Ravens. Seattle Seahawks at 49ers. I mean, we saw it 2 weeks ago. The 49ers just destroyed them. Now this game's in San Francisco, 10.5 point over under. I mean, Seattle's kind of falling apart on defense right now. I almost feel like the 49ers can put their number up. And you're starting everybody on the 49ers, of course.
I think this is play the favorites on this game. This is
play the hits.
Simply just play the hits.
Yeah.
Play all this is Flock of Seagulls. Play I Ran. Don't do the new songs from the new album that nobody knows. This is that's what this is. This is Tears for Fears playing Shout. Don't screw it up with some, esoteric, number that you've decided to create now as a 65-year-old rock star. Nope. Just play the hits.
I want to hear Everybody Wants to Rule the World too, though. So I want to hear that one too. Yeah,
exactly.
Both of those. So yeah, and do you think the 49ers cover 10.5 points?
It's interesting. It really depends on which version of Geno shows up, right? But I mean, I could see them covering. I do, but quite honestly, all I care about is how many passes Debo catches and how many touchdowns he scores and how many, that's all I care about.
You know what's funny? You talked about Debo and everything. Debo actually almost won me a DFS tournament. Had me ahead, and then Kyron Williams threw that I told you about that.
Yeah, that's heartbreak, man. I was like that a couple weeks ago when I took a DK tournament that we were doing, and just by a hair and lost it. And I stopped watching the updates, thinking I had won it, and then there you go. It went kapooey.
Well, let's go over to Miami. Your other Tyreek. Tennessee, the Tennessee pass defense is still. I mean, it's a pass funnel defense. You pass on them. I honestly think Tyreek could be going for 200 yards in this one.
Oh yeah, Jorge. How this is only 13.5? Maybe they're doing it not to embarrass anyone in Tennessee, but this could be 33.5 points.
I think, I mean, the game's in Miami. I know it's on Monday Night Football, so you're not dealing with like the crazy heat and humidity and everything like that. But no, this is going to be this. I think Tyreek on national television. I think it's going to be a special game. Keep an eye on the fact that Miami has only one more weather game And that's, well, I mean, they had their last bad weather game. They played the Jets. They're home a lot. I'm looking at their schedule right now, and yeah, I mean yeah, I know they've got Dallas has to come to Miami. I'm looking at this one.
Yeah.
The only they've got one weather game left, and that's at Baltimore on week 17. But that game, I mean, last year they scored a bazillion points between the two of them last year. I mean, Lamar had a huge game. Tua Tua threw 500 yards or something, like close to 500 yards in that game. So yeah, I think you're right.
I'm hoping for. I'd be happy with 400 yards. I mean, he doesn't have to go
400 yards, half of them going to having them go to Tyreek,
half of them going to Tyreek. I'm really happy, and if he wants to throw a couple passes to my good friend Achane,
let's do it. All right, so last game we'll break down, and then we're going to call it a night. Rams at Baltimore. This is going to be an interesting game because the Rams kind of like found a different gear last week. But
I was surprised.
Going up against Baltimore in Baltimore, I'm looking at. I took down some notes. I'm trying to remember. It is supposed to rain, but it's only going to be in the 60s. The temperature in the 60s. Playing on the East Coast, playing at 10 a.m. But the Ravens are rested. They just had their bye week. I do like the Ravens this week, but I'm going
to tell you, again, I have family that are Rams fans. How I don't know, because you're really talking to somebody. You're basically dating the woman who cheated on you, and whatever. But
you just took her back. Just took her back. It's okay.
I took her back because she said she was going to be nice this time. Oh.
20 years later.
Good job, buddy. Yeah. I mean, oh, she took everything. Oh, what a shock. The divorce proceeding. What a shock. But there was no telltale signs at all. Not at all.
Not at all.
But no, I think you're right with you got to go with Baltimore on this one. The Rams look good, but they were playing Joe Flacco. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, Lamar Jackson. The interesting thing is the Rams have gotten beat by their on a little bit by receivers. So maybe Zay Flowers is a good target this week. I don't know about Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, maybe he's healthy. He did get some targets last time. Keep an eye on Rashad Bateman. But Flowers to me is the guy to target very much. On the Rams side.
I was just going to say, Jorge, on the firepower. Imagine if just for a second, right? And Flowers is legit, no doubt about it. But if Lamar had two receivers like the Rams have, right? Think about we'd be writing Lamar's Hall of Fame speech at this point, right?
Yep.
That you kind of it makes me it's funny how you see them like almost wasting Lamar's years by not giving him legitimate firepower.
And they lose, and they lost Mark Andrews there, so
yep.
It's just you definitely want to start Isaiah Likely. The Rams gotten beaten up a little bit by the tight end position, but on the Rams side, I mean, you're definitely starting Puka,
and they all they got to do is go down.
They got to go down where?
Go ahead, Jorge. Sorry, with a little bit of a delay.
Oh yeah. I was just saying that you definitely play. You're definitely playing Puka and Cup and Kyron Williams, and kind of hoping for the best. The Ravens have one of the best defenses. They're really strong against the run and the pass. So it's going to be tough for them. I tend to lean that it's going to be Baltimore covering the 7-point spread.
Yeah, at the risk of sounding like Magic Johnson, if you can't pass or you can't run the football, you're not going to win the game.
Oh, ay Dios mío. Ay,
You know,
Dios mío. That's a
that's
good
what
one.
I'm saying. I don't know
That's
if
a
that
good
was
one.
enough of a. I don't know how astute my analysis was there, but it was on Magic Johnson level. But and again, I'm saying all the things that you can't say, Jorge, and that's okay. We know that, and we love you for it. But you know, yeah.
That's
But
awesome.
no, I think you know, the fact of the matter is that the Rams are as I like to tell my cousins, you know, they're just a bunch of fakers. You know, but I'm
I
just
think the
kidding.
Rams
I'm
may have
just kidding.
found something. I think the Rams may have found something, but yeah,
But is it
I
too
think the
little, too
Ravens.
late? You know, is it too little, too late? You know, that's
I
what
mean,
you
they
have
still got
to.
to play the 49ers. It's not gonna be easy for them.
No,
You know, they've got to play the 49ers, and gosh, man, I mean the Rams the Rams are very good, but I think the Ravens are just on a different level, and they're so much better. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at
yeah,
that.
I'm going with the Ravens. The 40 seems about right. You know, on the over under, I think that's, you know, I see a 23-21 game. I see it, you know, 24-21 game, something like that. I think the Rams will put up some scores, you know, and but ultimately though, I think the Baltimore defense is going to, you know, probably, you know, maybe, you know, as I'm talking about it right now, right? I mean, you know, if Baltimore shuts them down completely, you know, man, it's going to be interesting. I think they, you know, certainly the Rams had success against Cleveland because Williams was back running the ball, and you know, Royce
Yeah,
Freeman did okay, you know, in you know, when he was hurt and subbing him out. I thought that was a great pickup from them. But ultimately, though, you know, that is where you know, he's been the ability to have that running game, you know, really helped him out tremendously, right? And helped out the
absolutely,
passing game tremendously. So
absolutely.
if that's not there, whew, I think it's gonna be challenging.
Oh my goodness. Oh, mi amigo. I'm gonna. I think we can close up shop. I think we're gonna close up shop on this one. I ran out of games. I think. We got a couple of comments. I want to see if there's any other questions. Let's see. Game overboard. Muchas gracias for saying hello. Rams upset the Ravens. Maybe. I mean, if Aaron Donald goes in there and just wrecks everything, it could be crazy, but it's gonna be hard. And Mr. Scampers, muchas gracias for saying hello, saying howdy. Oh, it's awesome, it's awesome. He and I were in a league together, and we both got knocked out of the playoffs, so it's all good. It's all good. Oh man, Papi, oh, I'm so glad you joined me on your drive home.
Well, you know, I'm almost in Whittier, so I started in Culver City. I'm currently at the 105 710 interchange, so I still got about another 15 minutes to go. So we should do this every day, Jorge.
Podcast, yeah,
Because I'm
podcast
free.
on the drive.
I'm free.
Podcast on the drive.
I'm free.
So, oh man,
I put the fear of God into other people. Hang on, here's my drive real quick. There you go.
Oh my goodness. Oh, mi amigo. All right. Well,
so
I'm
hopefully
gonna
there's
close
no.
up
I just gave out my coordinates, Jorge. So hopefully there's no CHP guys watching this.
Oh
So,
man.
there you go.
Hey, follow me, amigo, Jesse at Jesse Hyperactive with no E at the end. Yeah, please make sure to follow him. And hey, Familia, you can. Let's just say a couple more. We got. Oh yes, Jimmy Burns, bravo fellas! Appreciate the insight and the entertainment always. And,
we're here for James. We're really here to serve James. That's really what we're doing here.
Yes, and Dame Overboard, I got knocked out. Did you get knocked out? I got knocked out of the playoffs. So hey, you know what? It's all good. It's all good. I had a blast. The draft is everything anyway. So oh man. All right, mi amigo.
All right.
Muchas gracias, everybody.
You got it, Jorgito.
Thank you,
All right.
thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And remember, todos somos familia. Salud.
We are.